Tottenham Hotspur
Yep.
are plus 155, taking on Graham Potter's Chelsea, plus 190. The draw here is plus 225. These odds, of course, brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Chelsea coming off another loss. Somebody on this podcast said a bet on Chelsea alternate team total over. Go find whatever price you want. In a get rate spot against Southampton was a good bet. They scored 0. Spurs, they've won 3 of 4. Maybe they're back. They're in the top
Best
4.
team in the world.
I don't want to trust Chelsea at a number like this. I'm sorry, Anthony. How on earth are you backing this team at this price?
Well, I just don't like. I think the underlying numbers are taking a step forward for Chelsea. Look, I know they lost to Southampton. It was not a great performance overall, and I think that the body language is bad. Like if you want to be body language guy, like they just don't look like they're like feeling inspired. But I think that feels like I don't even know the term that I'm trying to use here, but basically like a self-fulfilling prophecy is the word I'm looking for. And I think that's what's kind of happening with Chelsea. They just need to see the ball go in the back of the net because this team has run so bad. And I know it's like a Potter special. He's even changed up tactics, tried to get them playing a certain way. It wasn't really working. So now they've switched it up and it is working. They're getting really good chances and they're just not finishing any of them. 1.5 XG against the Saints, no goals. 2/2 against Dortmund, rattled the crossbar, no goals. 1.2 against West Ham. They finally got a goal, had 2 more ruled out for offside. Like just can't catch a break. Against Fulham, BJ's still mad about that match. Over 1.5 expected goals. Against Liverpool, dominating on set pieces, over 1.5 expected goals, no goals. So they've scored 1 goal in the last 5 matches in all competitions from like 9.5 expected. I mean, it's just insane. And if you look at Tottenham, like, yeah, they had a pretty solid home performance against West Ham, who gave no real. I mean, it was just one of the worst halves I've ever seen from both teams in the first half of Spurs West Ham, and then Spurs, found a couple of moments to win the match in the second half. But I didn't come away overly impressed with Tottenham's performance. It wasn't a Tottenham is playing right through West Ham with ease. It wasn't a Tottenham is overwhelming them with shot after shot after shot. Like it wasn't anything where I felt like I needed to truly upgrade Tottenham. I gave him a little bump just for the XG final, like how it works, like how I update stuff. But like overall, I thought it was still pretty uninspiring, and they're still going to be dealing with these midfield issues. I think for the rest of the season, even though Højbjerg is back, they decide to sit Son. He comes off the bench. Interesting decision. Got nothing from Richarlison in the first half, so he's playing. Stellini played Ben Davis as a wing back, so he's essentially playing like 5 defensive players plus Højbjerg, like a very conservative lineup. And I just think that this Chelsea team is playing better than Tottenham right now, despite what the results say. I mean, we just watched both these teams play in the Champions League on the road. Chelsea put up over 2 expected goals against a decent Dortmund team. Spurs could barely get a shot against Milan. I just don't really think that the results are matching the process for either of these teams right now. And I'm going to back Chelsea, draw no bet. I think it's one of my favorite spots of the year. I know it's at Spurs, but I'm going to bet against Tottenham for the second straight week, and hopefully it goes better this week than it did last week for me. Somehow Spurs have won 3 of 5. I got to beat Fulham. So, yeah, we're back for now. Not really. I mean, we lost the XG to Fulham, played poorly against Milan. It's like it hasn't been particularly good for Spurs. I'm still out.
You were still out on Spurs. Man, you were so in on Liverpool. And then Carlo Ancelotti.
I was waiting for that one.
Showed you who's boss. Oh, I'll still bring it back up in a little bit. BJ, what are you thinking here? Spurs and Chelsea.
Yeah, I feel very similarly about this match. How I did about when Chelsea went to go face West Ham. I'm not running the window to bet Spurs, but the spot to bet Chelsea and a lot of this offensive aggression is not against one of the best low blocks, one of the best teams at defending their own penalty, or against a bunch of wingers playing striker positions who can't finish. So this is not the spot for me. I actually do have some projected value on Tottenham right now, just because of the overall season arching metrics.
And because they're awesome.
And Tottenham has been awesome. So